All right, so we come together at the fire ring, and we are ecstatic. First thing I do is call Happy and tell him, dude, you're not crazy. I'm not crazy. Joe's not crazy. Scott's not crazy. All three of us just saw one. It's just, I was elated. Even up until, believe it or not, till that point, even after almost 4 years of research and seeing one at night and everything that's going on in my property, still had a little bit of doubt. What if we're all wrong? But when you see one from 40 or 50 feet away, unobstructed during the daytime, there's no questioning it. And then I have two witnesses with me that I thoroughly trust. It was amazing. Get off the phone with Happy, and this is where things get weird. If that wasn't weird enough, I set up my thermal. We're here hanging around the campfire ring. Vehicles are here. My thermal is in the back of Scott's truck, looking this direction, recording now. And about 40 minutes after we make the phone call, we're all sitting around talking, comparing notes, everything else. I'm messing around with my camera. Scott says, there's another one. Another Sasquatch about 100 yards away, much larger, runs across the pipeline on all fours, hits that tree line and turns, goes this direction, and then goes in the woods. Only thing I can think to do is chase it. So I take off running, pulling my phone out, trying to get it on video. I get down to about right here, and I step in the woods, and I look around. I don't see anything. Now, this one was much larger. When I say it was running on all fours, it was more like I've looked at a bunch of different animals. It looked more like a frog hopping. Like its arms would go out, its legs would go out behind it, and it would come together, and it would do it again. And it did that about as fast as a dog runs all the way across that field. Same color, black. That's all the detail we could see, though. It was much larger. I had to say 300-400 pounds, but it's hard to tell. But it was much larger than the other one we saw. If I had to say it's an adult male. Now we're completely shocked. I couldn't understand what was going on. Why did this one run out? All it had to do, this creek right here, the creek bed's like 7 feet deep. This pipeline goes in either direction as far as you can see. It was only maybe 30 minutes before dark. If it was wanting to cross without being seen, it could have waited and gone across here. It could have waited till dark and crossed anywhere else. We never would have seen it. So the only thing I could figure, after we talked about it, and this is after months of thinking about it. Number one, we made a lot of mistakes because we made assumptions. One of those assumptions was because we had been out there for so long, we were not ready to record. We should have had our video cameras and stuff in our hands recording at all times. I was already low on video storage. We'd been there for hours. Never in a million years thought one would just walk up on us. Because you always hear that if you're in the woods, they know it. Hell, we'd been out there for, I don't even know by then, 5-6 hours. Never expected one to come walking up lead us back to camp, and then have another bigger one go across that field. Why did that happen? I think every bit of that has to do with the beds. These beds we found, we've already established they've been there for over 30 years. It was the springtime, or right before spring. I think it's very possible they had young ones with them, or at least that was their established home. They had no plans of leaving, and they thought they could get us to leave by showing themselves. 100% speculation, but I honestly think that's probably what's going on. Best day ever researching. Finally proved to me these things are real. Not only are these things real, we have a chance at getting video of them during the day. That, and it happened with 2 other witnesses, like I said, that I trust very much. Video wise, bad luck. Number one, the thermal that I had set up here recording was set up perfectly to get them on video, but I can't remember whether it was 5 minutes or 8 minutes before it happened, before that thing ran across the field, it ran out of memory. It quit recording. Found that out that day. The GoPro footage, I got home, looked at it, nothing. And it's because when I turned my back towards it, it went the same direction. I'm like, crap, I can't believe we blew it that bad. Then I start going through the cell phone video. And trust me, we've come a long ways. Number one, I still take video with my iPhone. You know, I always get the top of the line iPhone, but I always use a gimbal now. I always have backup cameras now, one facing in the rear, one facing up front. Most everybody out there, when we go in the field, we're recording at all times now, where we try to. We don't ever want to have an opportunity like this again and fail at it. But we got caught off guard. We thought we knew what we were dealing with, but obviously not. But I did capture the one that we saw on video. Now remember, it's got a white goatee and it's got this big cowlick on the front of it. That's how I was able to find it in the video. Now what I'm about to show you, I'm going to go through it frame by frame a little bit and point out where you're looking and everything. But when it first starts out, you're going to see it's actually looking around the tree. It's only about 40 feet away from us. And then it goes back, and then it goes down, and it goes back up in the tree line. And while it's in the tree line changing positions, I get several pretty good screenshots, one extremely clear screenshot of its face. And again, this isn't just a Sasquatch. We didn't just go out there and take video of the woods and come home and say, hey, here's a Sasquatch. This is the one we saw 5 minutes before, and that is how I found it in this video. So what you're about to see is 100% a Sasquatch. Now, I realize it's not going to look like a lot of people think it should. That's the first thing I thought, is it looks super weird. It's got more of a longer face to it. But it's 100% a Sasquatch. Let me show you.
All right, so this is after me and Captain Joe come together. After we both saw it, and we start to follow behind it. Now, I changed these filters because when you do, it makes this bad boy pop. The black color turns into a purple color. Now, he is looking around the side of this tree right here. See his face start to form. see the cowlick on top, that triangle. Back out so you can get a good look at what you're looking at. Look how good he blends in. Now he'll go down. And I get around this tree. There's the screenshot. Looking right at you. You can see on the right hand side, his left actually looks like he's got dreadlocks. All that white in front of his face, that's all just limbs. Now I'm going to come back to that, but this part is speculation. I think there's a little one in there with him. Right there. Same color pattern. See how it looks like he's surprised? Go back a few frames. I think that's a little one, but that part's speculation. But that is 100% the Sasquatch we saw. Right there. And actually in more of the video, I think I found them again, but it's blob squatches. Now I'll show you, I messed around with the filters even more and you'll be able to see. All right, this is his face. After changing all the exposure and the black points and all that, this makes him pop the most. He almost looks like he's got a goat face with dreadlocks on the side. Point some things out for you. Here's the goatee. His mouth. His nostrils. His eyeballs. And that is the cone or the cowlick on top. All that white in front of his face, that's just limbs and stuff. You can even see next to him on the right hand side of the picture, these look like dreadlocks. But that is him. That is the Sasquatch that we saw. Pretty unbelievable, but It was 100% life changing for us. And I really hope it happens again. We're about to get out there at the end of January.